Welcome back to the One of the Family podcast by Blue Circle Cement. On today's episode, we're joined by Rob from DIY Journey to talk about his home renovation, growing his social media following, and advice for anyone considering a renovation project. We hope you enjoy the episode, and if you do, don't forget to leave us a review. Hi Rob, welcome to the One of the Family podcast.
Hi, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your home renovation project?
Yeah, so I'm Rob, part of DIY Journey, or the founder, if you like, of DIY Journey, which was created in 2018. I bought my first house 6 years ago now and couldn't afford to do anything to it. And I had just finished my apprenticeship. My wife was also an apprentice, so money wasn't the the thing that was readily available to us. So we wanted things done in the house, and we couldn't afford to do it. And I'm one of these people that does not settle, never settle. And so it was a case of either I do it or it doesn't happen. So that I started trying things, having a go. Quite perfectionist, so that's sort of what kick-started everything. And with my background in engineering, it's something I've always been interested in. So doing bits and bobs around the house was the thing for me. So I have a full-time job as well as the social media thing, and I work in the rail industry. Very unrelatable to doing things around the house, but so I'm approaching 30, so I'm getting on now, and it's we're progressive, if you like. So yeah, that's about me really.
Yeah, is this this isn't your first project, the one you're currently on, the house you live in at the minute? You've done a few before that.
That's right, yeah. So this is the third one, if you like. So I'll talk through them briefly. So the first house we bought was a new build, really good deal. And to me, and the message I would put to others is, new builds are pretty good for your first house. I thought it's a blank canvas, it's a box. And we didn't actually spend that much money on it. And that's probably something I would message as well. That I'd put across to others is, don't spend much money on your first house. And after 18 months, we part exchanged it for another new build. And at the time, the situation was we was pushing ourselves for the second house, and it was a risk, but a calculated risk. And we moved to it, and again, another new build, but a blank canvas. It was a better builder. The deal was really good, and as you'll probably see from this theme, is I'm quite, if you like, business minded with everything I do, even in personal life, and everything has to sit right, and any risk that's taken, it has to be a calculated risk, and so on. So we moved into the second house, and that's what kick-started the actual DIY Journey channel. And I began to post things, do things around the house, the daft things. Well, it seems daft, but it's actually something that's really interesting to others. Is the likes of putting tellies on the wall, moving sockets so you don't have wires dangling from behind the telly. What else were they? I mean, all sorts. We did the garden, the front and back garden, the garage. And the thing for me is I research everything. Mm-hmm. And I don't use your sort of generic products. So like the garage floor, for instance, I didn't use normal garage floor paint. I went for epoxy resin, which is more hard wearing, lasts forever, a bit dearer, but it's going to last you. And then the other simple things like adding an aerial. Potentially it's going to cost you £60, £100 to get someone out to fit it. So again, it's a highlight on my Instagram, but you can do it yourself. I think they're like £15 off Amazon or something, and you can do it yourself because the builders leave them up there, all the cables. And so that was the second house. And then surprisingly, we sold it on Facebook. We had no intentions of moving house. Well, we did, but probably in a year's time, which would be around now. And I was talking to a neighbour and just letting him know about this. And, well, not letting him know, but, talking to him, and said, we might move next year. And then about 2 weeks later, some random person, never heard of them before, never spoke to him before, just messaged me on Facebook and said, I've heard you thinking of selling your house. Just as well, no, not really, but I mean, if the price is right, it could be for sale. And they said, well, can we have a look at it? And this was probably Tuesday. I had test pots on the wall and all sorts. So I got the walls painted by Saturday when they came to look at it. And then an hour later, after the visit, they asked how much we wanted for it. So gave them a figure and they took it. So, yeah, the second house sold a bit unexpectedly. We moved out and lived with the in-laws for 4 months until we found another house. We did actually find another new build, which we really liked, but a few things didn't work out for that one with regards to the legal matters and where the house was placed and things. So we took the decision again. It's all on my Instagram, that the reasons why we backed out of it. And then we decided to take on a renovation, which is as current house now. As you could probably see behind me, it's I'm in one of the top floors, which is probably the last thing we're ever going to do. But it's challenging. It's only a 10-year-old house, but it wasn't looked after at all previously. So we are literally ripping it right back to, I wouldn't say brick, but the kitchen's been completely ripped out. I'm currently doing the downstairs toilet, and downstairs is pretty much completely new. Carpets, sockets, switches, kitchen, bathroom, all that sort of stuff. Everything's new doors, skirting boards, the lot. So it's a big project, but it's a 5-bedroomed house, 3 stories, and it takes a lot of effort, I must admit.
Wow. What's been the biggest project so far in your current house?
So it has to be the garden, and I think that's the biggest, if you like, engagement I've had on my social media channels, and and trying to turn a negative into a positive. The whole current pandemic is something that was a big driver to do that. So when we bought the house, I didn't know when we would be able to afford to do the garden. It was completely overgrown, 6 to 8 feet in weeds, trees, and all sorts. And it was challenging, and I didn't know when. And then as holidays started getting cancelled and whatnot, and I took the decision, right, that's it, the garden's a goer, and that was in April. We worked pretty much constantly. So I had 2 weeks off work, 3 weeks off work in total, which were 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days, and then around work. And I did probably 3 to 4 hours a day, plus weekends, right up until mid-September. And then the weather started changing. So we've got it to a point now where it's pretty much done. We've just got some more paving to do around between the house and the actual patio area, which will get done when the weather picks up and I can get back outside in the warmer weather.
What's been it obviously started off saying putting up the aerial and things like that. How has it, do you think it was buying the third house that kind of made you step up and take on a renovation project?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of these people that starts little and works up to things, and I also have a bit of a approach of, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm quite fortunate that my dad's always done things himself, and I think growing up I only recall ever having an electrician come round once. And I don't know, all decorating were always done by him, paving, patio and all that sort of stuff. So I have that support as well, which is great. But then we've got YouTube, we've got Google, my Bible, if you like, and in this house in particular, half of the jobs I'm doing I've never done before. It's all learning, and over on Instagram on a Wednesday and a Sunday I try to do a bit of an Ask Me Anything, And some of the sort of questions I get asked, it's as though I know everything, and I'll always try and help, but sometimes I've never done it myself, and it's just a case of teaching myself to do it.
And you mentioned there whenever you've grown up, you only had an electrician in your house once. What about for yourself? Do you ever have take a tradesperson on to do any work or get outside help?
Absolutely. So it's a very fine balance. There's some jobs that, for me, I think is don't do it yourself, and probably electrical and gas fitting are my two that I wouldn't personally touch. Well, tell a lie, it's a bit. Gas fitting I wouldn't do. Electrical work I wouldn't recommend people do. For me, my day job is based around electrical engineering and wiring things, and I have been trained to that sort of level. And however, I do still pay electricians to come, and it's a fine balance of, is the work worth me doing, or is it worth just paying someone to do? And that's what I try and live by, if you like.
Yeah. How do you manage to balance doing the work and your own full-time job? Do you think that's something people that follow your page actually realise, that you do have a full-time job as well?
Most do, absolutely. You do get messages where someone asks you a question and I might not answer it for 2 days, and then they'll send a question mark, which is the most frustrating thing I've ever had. But working in the rail industry, it's a 365-day job. I worked Christmas Day, I worked New Year's Eve, I worked New Year's Day, away from home sometimes. And I work Monday to Friday in the office. My job is an office job now. But then this year, I've probably done 30 Saturday nights. And my next weekend off is probably in 5 or 6 weeks' time. So I don't think people appreciate that. It's not your norm. People normally just work Monday to Friday and that's it. But I don't. And balancing this and work is very difficult. However, I have to prioritise what pays my bills at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And my full-time job is that. So generally, I think Instagram can be quite deceiving. Up until sort of last week, I tried to upload daily. And it's proved very difficult because work's very busy at the minute. And I just can't give it the time that it needs. And I think people think that I'm doing more than I'm actually doing. So generally I do about 2 hours, 3 hours a day on the house, which is enough for me. I set myself a plan for the week, what I want to get done by the weekend, because generally Saturdays are my days that I can get loads done. And although I'm uploading, it is quite deceiving, I think, to people as well. But Saturdays are my day that I go for it if I'm not got other plans. So.
Yeah. Do you ever find it really stressful, or there's sometimes you regret ever starting it and you wish you had went for that new build?
Absolutely. When you start, when I've been adding the sums up, that's but no, I can see the end goal. I'm quite a driven person, and rather than it's easy to concentrate on what you're doing and get stressed, whereas I try to take a step back and see what I'm trying to achieve. So at the minute, as I've said, I'm doing the downstairs toilet. I'm waiting on cabinets and things, which is quite annoying. But it is what it is. It's out of my control. There's no point in me worrying about it, getting stressed. I've closed the door and I'm just planning other things now. So we've got a baby on the way. So I've got to get things in place to make sure that the nursery's ready. But to get the nursery ready, I've got to do the ensuite, and that means taking a wall down because we want a bigger ensuite. So I'm using my time wisely, if you like, to get things planned and in place, because you could end up getting very stressed. But I think my day job as well is sort of planning construction works and things and projects. So I think that helps with what I do as well.
Yeah. Have you got any advice for someone that's considering doing a home renovation?
I think it depends what you want to take and what type of person you are. For me, budgeting is the biggest thing. When we bought this house, I had a figure in mind of what it was going to cost. We are currently about 80% of that. However, I didn't budget for the garden to be done, so we are going to go over the budget, but the reasons for it because the garden got done a lot sooner than we thought. So I think budget, have an idea of what you want to spend and what you need to spend, and that can easily be done by a bit of research, finding out how much materials cost. I sort of, rightly or wrongly, I don't know what tradesmen earn. I don't know, but I just add £200 a day if I'm going to pay someone to do it, and that'll give me a ballpark figure. So budgeting is key, and you're probably always going to go over budget.
Yeah.
That's a given. I think the garden, for instance, I only budgeted £350 for waste removal. It was actually £1,900. So I was quite a bit off on that one. And it is what it is. But budgeting is my biggest driver. It allows you to control what you're doing. And then I think the other thing is know your limits. Our garden project, for example, I probably wouldn't say for a novice to do it. I am a novice, but I have my dad with me as well doing it, and we've done various patios because we dug out 160 tons of material, and we had to get an excavator up on the garden, which is a metre high from the patio, so we had to break into it. So there were a lot of considerations we had to do. And again, my day job sort of supports it in understanding what you need to do to manage any risks that you've got with, be it working at height or anything like that. So it sounds a bit professional for DIY, but at the end of the day, the risks are still the same. So I think it's just understand your limits and don't go beyond them until you've got some experience.
Yeah. What's your plans next for the home renovation at the minute?
So as I touched on there, we've my wife's currently pregnant, due in July, so that gives me a bit of time to get a bit done, I think. So the downstairs toilet I'm trying to finish, and then that concludes all downstairs except for my garage, which will come after the rest of the house because all the tools and everything. And then we start on it's the nursery / ensuite and the stairs. So currently we've got oak staircase that's been stained. It looks very, I don't know what the word is, maybe Gothic, if you like. And we're trying to modernise it, bring it back up to sort of today's. We're not traditional, but modern is what we're trying to achieve with the house. So they need a full renovation. I've done downstairs. I just need to do upstairs, put glass in it and things, and then the ensuite is knock a wall down, make the ensuite bigger and reduce, because the smallest bedroom that we have, which is going to be the nursery, is actually quite a big bedroom. So we're going to reduce the size of that and make it more suitable to needs of us and others if we ever need to sell.
And are you planning on carrying out all this work yourself?
Yes. I start doing everything myself. That's the plan for everything. And then as I go, it's a case of assess how we get on. So, the downstairs toilet, for instance, I wanted to have a go at plastering myself because I've never done that before. But I felt the room is on show. We were fast approaching Christmas. I had someone I can trust do it, and he gave us a good price. So for me, it was a no-brainer just to say, right, come and do it. And so we'll see how we get on and see time frames. But the plastering, I might leave and just pay someone to do it, because what I've saved everywhere else can pay for that.
Yeah. So you've touched on obviously it's DIY journey, and you have an Instagram page, and then you also upload on YouTube. You've got a YouTube channel. How did that all start? Was it in your second property? Yeah,
so the second house, and literally started by I was posting things on my personal account. So at the time I was 23. So other people at the same age were starting to get their own house and wanting to do the same things. Putting curtain poles up, all that sort of stuff, just posted it. And then I found I were getting questions off people. And I'm thinking, right, okay. Kept answering. And then the more and more I post over probably a 6-month period, I thought, you know what, I'm going to set up a house account. Didn't think anything of it. Set it up. And it just sort of, with the algorithms at the time, it was a case of you uploaded something and everyone saw it, and it sort of took off there. And I think it grew to like 6,000 followers within the first 4 months or something. Wow. And I live by a bit of a rule of, if anyone asks a question, I will always try and help to the best of my knowledge. And it just kind of progressed from there. I was doing more and more, sharing more and more. Then there was a big change in algorithms and things, and it did slow down. But I've just carried on being a bit, if you like, consistent with it if I can. And it just keeps growing. People seem to like what you do. I think I've kept my integrity with it. I don't just sort of sell myself to anyone to, offer products and things. I only use what and show and demonstrate what I think is a suitable product. Doesn't matter if I bought it or I've been given it. I've either been given it because I think it's a decent product, or I just go out and buy it myself because here's what it is. I'm not tied to anyone, if you like. And I think that's what people like about the page, is my integrity with it. And it's just grown and grown. And then for me as a person, I don't have loads of confidence, if you like, so it helps that side of things. Which, I mean, over the last 2 years, my confidence levels has grown a lot more. And then I took the decision to try YouTube. Very not me at all. I'm someone who likes to keep myself to myself, and don't like talking, would you believe? And the YouTube was a means of me sort of taking the DIY journey onwards and bringing it into a few more current times. I had a lot of people asking me questions saying, can you do videos, can you do this? And YouTube seems the best platform to share that. And then for me, it helped me at work. I have to do a lot of public speaking, presentations, that sort of stuff. And I thought I need a way to help me and better me to do that. And so got the camera out and had a go. And I started it when we bought the house. It was very difficult to get into a rhythm and understand it. I was learning how to edit a video, and I'm by far not good at it, but I'm learning every video I do. And I'm trying to get on a weekly schedule now, and it's quite difficult, but it's growing. 2,000 subscribers now, and there's a little benefit that you earn a little bit of income from it, which helps fund the camera and equipment and tools that I'm using.
Yeah, do you think it's still kind of stayed as like a passion or a hobby? Or is it kind of, do you feel like pressure now to keep uploading?
I think there's pressure with it to keep uploading, and it's why I've tried to keep it to either one daily upload post to Instagram, which I can sort of stack them up for the next week or whatever, and then with YouTube kind of stick to one video a week, because I can't physically do anymore. And there is times where my phone internet bill from uploading a video to YouTube was astronomical. And I had unlimited data, luckily, and it's because I set it going before I went on a journey for work for 3 hours, and it finished just before I got there. So it's there is pressure to make sure you upload, and I think it's the nature of the business, if you like, and people expect it. And I get people messaging me saying, is there going to be an upload tomorrow? And people don't appreciate I'm about to leave for work for a Saturday night shift, and it is. But I'm getting better with what I'm doing, and I'm trying to plan ahead so I know what video I'm doing in 2 to 3 weeks' time, and it does slow progress down as well. So the downstairs toilet, I'm trying to plan what I can do in each video, but it's just getting the content together. And whereas if you weren't videoing it, you could just crack on and get it done.
Yeah. What would you say, like, any advice for anyone that is doing like a home renovation, or maybe are like keen DIYers, if they did want to start their own social media, like promoting what they do?
I think go for it. I mean, if you can offer something unique to people, they will like it, and that will help grow your. I don't like calling it a brand, but I think it is what it is. People. I never thought I'd be going to a car show and someone come up to me and ask me if I'm Rob from DIY.
Yeah, brilliant.
And they had a selfie with me, which never expected that. But I think that's what happens with it, and people they treat you differently, but in a good way. And I don't know if that's just the sort of industry with home renovation, but if you've got something to offer and it will help people, or it's just a method of documenting what you're doing, it's brilliant. I mean, my parents sit and watch the YouTube videos over and over because they've been involved in the project, and when I see them, well, when I'm allowed to see them, they comment on how I've said in a video right at the start that I'd never be in a position to do our garden. I have no idea when it had happened, and then within 12 months it's done.
Yeah.
And I think it's a brilliant method of documenting what you're doing. I have lost friends over it, would you believe?
Really?
But it is what it is, and that's quickly come round to bite as they've set up their own social media around their hobbies. So for me, I'm just sort of sat back laughing now because I've been consistent for 3 years and built what I've got. I mean, it's by no means a massive social media brand, but it's perfect for me, and I'm happy to share and carry on doing it as it's growing. So
yeah, definitely. It seems like you've got a brilliant community on like your social media. And what would you say is probably the most frequently asked question whenever it comes to like people wanting advice on how to do things?
I think it's the more simple jobs rather than the bigger ones. The likes of hanging, what's the best wall fixing for hanging a telly on the wall, or how I've got this that I need to put up. What do you think? And this is what's opened me up to the YouTube. I can offer that, in a video, and I can link it and direct them, which helps also take a bit of pressure off me. But I think sort of a question that doesn't get asked, but I think people take a lot from, is the products you use. I can't believe how influential I am in people's decisions, and it's why I try and keep the integrity of refusing to settle for less than what I use, because at the end of the day, there's an element of responsibility, but there's an element where what I'm saying has got to be true, and if I've had companies approach me and ask to work with me, and I've tried the products and I don't actually think they're very good. So I'm not going to put my name to that, if you like, and I refuse to do that. But I think it's just having a bit of in the back of your mind that people are listening to what you're putting, even in the background. So you just got to be mindful of there's more to the questions you're actually getting as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds like this home, the current project you've got going on at the minute is the upstairs and the garage is like your last focuses. What do you think like the future has in hold for you? Do you think once you get this here house completed, do you think you'd be tempted to start move again or to start something in this kind of area?
We really like the house that we live in, where we live and everything like that. So I think it's something I want to carry on. And if I can grow DIY Journey and earn an income from it, that'd be fantastic. At the moment, I'm nowhere near that, so it's a bit reliant on the income that we have, and obviously with a baby on the way, it's there's going to be a life change there. So I think I'll assess what we do over the next sort of 12 months, and hopefully it'll be done by then. But you never know, it could be 18 months. And then if I can, whether we move again, I don't know. It would be a business decision more than but we're in a good position at the minute, and the house is great, location's fantastic, and I think we'd be daft to sort of sell up. So if I can make it so we can do it separate to personal life, because that's something else I'd like to do. I want to. The goal of DIY journey would be to start, if you like, developing, but keep it realistic to what people can also do. I think as you earn more and more, you could potentially start pushing yourself out of the bracket of what the normal person can do, and that's not something I'm really interested in doing. And if I can, go and buy a 3-bedroom semi-detached house and do it up and show people what you can do, because I'm no better than anyone else, then that's something I'd be really interested in carrying on and doing that if that's the way it goes. So that's the goal.
Yeah, it sounds great. You've got you don't really seem that you want to kind of stop it. You're going to continue being as busy.
Yeah. I mean, my whole mentality is I can't sit still. I work 10 hours a day, and I sit and watch telly for about 20 minutes, and then I'm up thinking about, or even drawing. I've been drawing recently what we can do with the rooms and stuff. And I've got myself some crayons. And it's just me, and I think I enjoy being busy. I think I can moan about it, and I can sort of spit me dummy out or be tired or whatever, but I bring it on myself. There's only me to blame for that. So
yeah, that's brilliant. So if anyone wants to follow you, it's DIY Journey over on Instagram, and then the same on YouTube.
So it's the_DIY_journey on Instagram and DIY Journey on YouTube. So yeah, please do.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you for joining us today, Rob. I think this will give a good insight into what all you've been doing and how it all started, and advice for people that maybe are tempted to go down this route. Yeah. So it was brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.